Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the final workshop in this free online workshop series. I'm Shubha, Product Specialist from Manage Engine IT Security Solutions team. It's a pleasure to have you all here. I hope my voice is audible and you can view my shared screen. In case of any difficulties, please let us know. As I had specified in the previous workshop, today we'll be discussing in detail about performing forensic analysis using log search. I'll be discussing the steps to build the complex search queries with the search options available in Event Log Analyzer. I'll also let you demonstrate the how to extract the forensic reports and create the alert profile from the search queries for proactively mitigating the future threats. And we'll also discuss about backtracking the security attacks, why it is important and how to backtrack the security attacks. You may ask me the reason to perform log search despite the 1000 plus predefined reports and alert criteria that gives a detailed information on any anomaly on the network. Let me tell you why log search is more important as other defensive mechanisms. As you all know, in today's world, data is the fulcrum that drives most of the business. Be it your own financial information or your customers' data, every cyber attack and exploit are aimed at exposing these confidential business data to the external world. In our previous workshops, we have seen the ways to protect these confidential information by setting up appropriate audit policies and monitoring the confidential data accesses. However, that is not enough. Whenever there is an access to these data, it just alerts you in real time. But those are just the indicators of compromise. The answers to these questions, such as what happened at the backstage, how the attacker managed to access the resource, out of and how the attacker managed to reach out for the data that is securely stored in your server, lies in the forensic analysis through the log search. To contain the future threats of same pattern, you need to travel on the foot trail of the hackers to foresee and connect the right dots at the right time to prevent or react immediately to a security breach. Log forensics through log search helps you to connect the dots in right time. It also helps you to speed up the process of attack discovery and thereby helps in reducing the damage caused by the breaches. In first half of today's workshop, I'll demonstrate the steps to build the complex search queries with Event Log Analyzer's easy search options. In the second half of the workshop, I'll demonstrate you on how to backtrack a security attack. For all these demonstrations, I'll be using the live setup of Event Log Analyzer hosted on the Azure. You can very well access these product by clicking on the link and you can log in using the credentials as displayed on the screen. Now let's move on to our first section of today's workshop. As I had told you, Event Log Analyzer has thousands of predefined reports and alert criteria that will help you to identify the indicators of compromise at ease. But that's not all when it comes to network security. Any security solution should empower you to search the log data and let you connect the dots in an easy way. Event Log Analyzer has various search options which allows you to build the complex search queries at ease. This solution also allows you to save the search results as report and the query as an alert profile so that you can mitigate the future attacks proactively. Let me just demonstrate you how to do that. Go to the search tab and select the log type as Windows Event Logs. I would like to intimate you that all the events in this setup are simulated to show you the solution's functionality. At any time, you can perform the function at your environment and get the live results of your network. So once you had selected the log type, click on Go. This will present you all the raw log information across all the hosts at the selected time period. Now you need to narrow down and find out a specific user's, say for example, special logon and specific machine. To do that, click on the username field. This will display the top active users and the top in the ascending and the descending order. Now click on any specific user, say Vivian, and the query will be automatically generated in the query field. Now you need to select the host in which you need to monitor this user's activity. So click on the host field. This will again populate the top hosts that are active on the network in both ascending and the descending order. Let me select a host, specific host. Again, as you can see, the host will be automatically added in the host field, and the raw log data corresponding to this query will be the user's activity on the specific host, say ADMP EXE1. Now, to further narrow down, you need to monitor only the special logons of this user at this specific host. To do that, click on the event ID. This will display all the event ID that has been performed by this user on the specific machine. The event ID 4672 corresponds to the special logon. This is the event that we need to monitor. So click on that event ID. As you can see, in the search field, the query is automatically populated. Say the username is Vivian and the event ID is 4672, and this event is monitored in the host ADMP-EXE1. By this way, you can populate any complex search query at ease with the click-based search. Now, you can export this result in the PDF and CSV format. To do that, click on the PDF or the CSV icon at the top of the product. You can also save the search as a report and generate this report in a periodical interval or redistribute this report across an email ID. To do that, click on the Save Search link near the Go button. Now, provide the name to the report, say special logon, and specify the time period at which the report has to be generated, say hourly or daily or weekly, and specify the day at which it has to be generated. Say the report has to be generated on every Monday by 9 o'clock, and specify the time period at which the report has to be given. Say the report has to be generated for the previous week or the last 7 days. Now click on the report format, either the PDF or the CSV format. And to redistribute this report via email, specify the email ID to which you need to send this report in the email to field. Once you are done with this, click on finish. The report is automatically added to the My Reports tab, and when you click on that report, it will take you to the search tab and you can view the raw log data. And this report will also be emailed to you at the specific time period that you have specified. Now, you can save this search query as an alert as well. To do that, click on the Save as Alert option near the Go button. Specify the alert profile name, say special logon, and set the criticality for this particular alert criteria. As you have selected the host, in the search criteria itself, the host will be automatically added in this column, and all the corresponding alert criteria will be set. All you need to do is to specify the notifications mechanism, either by email or SMS or run program. After specifying the notification type, click on Add Alert Profile. This will automatically add an alert profile, and whenever a user, the same user, tries to log on using the special logon at the specific host that you have mentioned, an alert will be sent to you. By this way, you can proactively mitigate the threats using event log analyzer. Now that we have demonstrated how to build the queries using the simple click-based search option, I would like to try this task at your end in your live setup or at your environment in your lab setup, and let us know if you have any difficulties. I repeat the steps again. Go to the search tab, select the time frame for which you need to search the log data and click on apply, and select the log type that you need to search and click on go button. This will display all the raw log information, and select the field through which you need to narrow down or build a search query. Say for instance the username, and select the user that you wish to monitor, and keep adding the search criteria by clicking on the corresponding fields. Say for instance the host. So this will monitor, or this will give you the result of events that are performed by the user Vivin on the specific host. And further, to narrow down based on the event ID, click on the event ID and select the event that you wish to monitor, and the search query will be automatically generated. Say for instance, this log search result corresponds to the username Vivin has been logged on to ADMP using the special logon. So once the report is ready, you can either export the report directly in the PDF or CSV format, or save the report for future reference, or create an alert profile for this specific search query so as to proactively mitigate this security breach from here on. Now, I would like to try this click-based search option at your lab setup. Please let us know once you're done with the task by using the hand raise option available in the WebEx. I hope most of you are done with the task. Now let me explain you the other options or the other search options available with Event Log Analyzer. We have now seen the click-based search option available with Event Log Analyzer. The other search options that are available with the solution are the wildcard search, which allows you to search even if you don't know or know only the part of the message, and a group search and range search option where you want to search the log data for a particular range. To do a wildcard search, say for instance, you need the log data for a specific process ID and you're not sure of the ID completely, you can use the wildcard search options. To do that, let me first clear the search that we have performed and select the windows or select the all log types and click on go. And now we have all the log data corresponding to this particular search. Now, if you need to carry out the wildcard search, for instance, you need to identify the creator process ID 0x210, and if you're not sure on this process ID, you can always use the wildcard search. To do that, go to the search field and type process ID. This will automatically populate the field. All you need to give is the field value, say star 44. This will populate all the log data with the process ID that ends with 4 and 4. Now click on Go button. As you can see, this query has returned all the process ID that ends with 4 and 4. And this wildcard search options will be useful when you know only the part of the message. And if you need to generate the report for an activity that happened for the specific set of remote hosts, say for instance from an IP address starting from 121.18.238.120 to 30 for internal auditing purposes, then you can use the range search option. To do that, you can click on the source IP and within the parenthesis, you can specify the range of IP address and close the braces. And now this will bring down all the raw log data corresponding to the host starting from 121.18.238.20 to 121.18.238.30. Now you can change the time period. Say for instance, none of the log data has this particular source ID, and as it is none of the log data doesn't have this IP address, you have the search not available. Let me show you. Say for instance, let's choose this is slow. And click on the remote host. You have the IPs here, and if you wish to see only the log data corresponding to the remote host for a specific range, key in remote host and then specify the value and click on go. As you can see, this has brought down all the log data for the specific range of remote hosts, starting from 121.18.238 to 20 to 30. By this range search, you can narrow down your search queries for the specific set of remote host or users or the source IP and whatever that comes in sequence. Now try your hands on the products. Build queries with the search options like wildcard search and the range search and the group search at your environment to narrow down the events, and let us know once you are done by using the hand raise option. Now we have seen the various search options available with Event Log Analyzer, that is the click-based search, which allows you to click on the specific fields and the queries will be automatically generated, and the range search, which allows you to search for a particular range of IPs or the host or the users, and the wildcard search that allows you to search if you know only the part of the log message. You can use either any one of these search queries or a combination of this to build complex search queries. And as I told you, once you have built the search queries, you no need to type it again and again. You can save the search and generate it as a report and periodically generate this report and redistribute this report in the email as well. And the other option is you can save the search queries as an alert profile, and whenever the particular event occurs again in your network, the alert will trigger an email or an SMS notification to you, by which you can proactively mitigate the security threats of the same kind. Please let us know if you have any queries in building the complex search. In the second half of the workshop, we'll discuss on how to backtrack a security attack and why it is important to backtrack the security attacks. I would like to intimate you all the events that are shown in this live setup are simulated events. You can try the search queries at your lab environment or at your live setup. Now that we have seen the various search options available with Event Log Analyzer, Let me just demonstrate you on how to backtrack the security attacks. Before moving further, let me tell you on why it is essential to backtrack the security attacks and how they are useful in mitigating the attacks. The backtracking the security attacks help to understand the attack pattern, how it had already happened and how the attacker tried to intrude your network. And it also helps you to assess the data loss and fix the security loophole in your network. And once you know the attack pattern that has happened on your network, you can proactively mitigate the same attack pattern if it happens in future. And the thumb rule to combat security threats is to accept the fact that all security breaches cannot be proactively mitigated. In most cases, organizations not even know the occurrence of an attack until a third party vendor conveys it to them. To understand on what limits the speed of discovery process or to proactively mitigate the security threat, one has to closely examine the various stages of the security attacks. Usually, every security attack passes through four stages, that is, network examination, network intrusion, a data or critical source exploitation, and escaping the network without getting noticed. And once the hacker examines the network, he will identify all the possible ways to intrude your network by bypassing the firewall or IDS IPS and tries to access your critical data, say web server or a critical or confidential data that is stored on your file server. And once he has completed with the attack, he will try to escape your network without getting noticed. That is, the actions that is performed at your end before getting caught, he'll try to escape from the network. Hackers initially examine the target's business type, the data to be breached, and the network infrastructure. But in most cases, it becomes very difficult for the security administrators to differentiate a normal event from a network intrusion event. Say, for instance, if an attacker is trying to access a web server, it is possible for a firewall to block the access unless and otherwise if the traffic is from a malicious IP. Also, the firewall cannot block all the requests to a web server because it will bring down the business continuity. Once the network intrusion takes place, the speed of attack accelerates. Containing the attack at this stage helps in reducing the data damage as well as preventing the future damages of the security breach. To contain the attack at this level, you need to speed up the detection process so that it can cope up with the speed of the attack. Here is where the real-time detection system and the alerting console comes into picture. The file integrity monitoring feature that we have seen in our previous workshop also helps to find the indicators of compromise instantly at this stage. However, you need to find out how the attacker actually entered your network by bypassing the firewall and IDS IPS to learn the security loopholes in your network. This is where the forensic analysis comes into picture. Let me just demonstrate you with the use case. To speed up the discovery of attacks, you need to identify the indicators of compromise and set up an alert profile to get the real-time notification whenever an indicator of compromise occurs. So after getting the alert, you need to backtrack the incidents to get the full plot of the attack and save this a forensic report as an alert to mitigate the future attacks. Let me demonstrate you with a typical use case. Let's assume that an access to the web server is happening from an unknown IP. Let's assume that this IP is not a malicious IP because malicious IPs could be blocked by the firewall or the IDS IPS. But what if the attacker is trying from another IP which is not suspicious and trying to compromise on your web server data or bring down your web server? In this case, you would not know until the indicator of compromise occurs. Now, the attacker is trying to access the system. The router allows the IP, and the firewall doesn't block it as it is not a suspicious or blacklisted IP. Now, the intruder gets into the IDS system. Here is when the first indicator of compromise comes. The IDS system scans the message of the request, and if there is suspicious messages such as running of a malware scripts, it sends out the log. With Event Log Analyzer's alert profile, you can detect this incident and log the IP instantly. Let's assume that you had missed this indicator of compromise due to any false positives. Then the attacker moves forward and tries to access the web server. And once he had gained the access to the web server, he is trying to run a malicious script on that web server. This is another indicator of compromise, and you can get an alert for this from Event Log Analyzer. All you need to do now is to probe into this incident to check whether it's actually an attack attempt or it could be a false positive. If it is an attack attempt, you need to contain it immediately to prevent the data compromise. To probe and backtrack this incident, all you need to do is go to your Event Log Analyzer and select the host to be the web server wherein the indicator of compromise occurs. I would like to intimate you that all the attack here shown on this workshop are simulated. Once you have selected the web server, click on Go. This will now take you to the raw log data that is erased from that web server. As you can see, there is a request to access this web server through an OpenSSL connection, and it's from the IP address. And after the access request from the same IP address, there has been a request to run a script which could be malicious. You suspect that script to be malicious and you want to probe into this incident. All you need to do to backtrack this incident is to click on this IP address. This will narrow down the search result, bringing this IP's request onto the particular web server. If you need to backtrack this particular IP and where it had hit on your network, just remove the web server from this pick host option and click on Go. This will bring the IP's activity across the network. As you can see, the IP has hit the IDS and the IDS has identified it. If you set up the alert at this level, you might get an alert saying this IP is trying to run a malicious script on the web server. And after it had hit on the IP address, it has tried access on the web server and tried to run a malicious script on the web server. This gives you the complete plot of the attack attempt, and by examining these log data, you could finalize whether it is an attack attempt or it's just a false positive. Now, if you want to see the IP's activity particular to a specific host, say for example, this firewalls and the router, go to the pick host option and select the Cisco router and firewall and click on Go. You can see the log data, the IP address has hit on the firewall and then into the IDS and then into the web server. By this way, you can backtrack this attack attempt and you can save the complete attack attempt, its flow and its picture. As you can see, it has first hit on the IDS and then it has tried accessing the Apache web server and then tried to run a malicious script. As this IP is not a suspicious one, the firewall did not block, and by this way you couldn't identify at the initial stage. And now to contain this attack as soon as possible, all you need to do is analyze all these events and come to a conclusion whether it is an attack attempt or it is a false positive, And if it is an attack attempt, you can go ahead and block the IP to prevent the future damages. And if you want to submit this forensic analysis report for internal auditing purposes, you can just click on the PDF icon at the top, and this will export the complete details of the attack attempts into a PDF file or a CSV file. Now, if you want to prevent this attack from happening again, just click on the Save Alert option and give the name, say for example, web server attack. This will automatically select the host as we have specified it already, and then it will automatically populate the alert criteria. Say for instance, the source IP is this, and if it has tried to access the web server, it will generate an alert in real time over email or SMS to you, and then you can try blocking the IP address and prevent the security attack in future. Now that we have seen the methods to build complex search queries using the simple yet powerful search options using event log analyzer, we have also seen how to backtrack the security attacks and why backtracking of security attacks is very important. We have also seen the steps to extract forensic reports from event log analyzer and creating an alert profile from the search queries for proactively mitigating the future threats. Thank you for your time and patience. We'll be open for queries for another 5 to 10 minutes. Feel free to ping us if you need any clarification regarding any of the topics conducted in this workshop series. We'd also love to know your feedback on this workshop. We value your suggestions. Please don't forget to take the feedback survey that will be sent to you and let us know your thoughts. I would again stress you that we are open for queries for another 5 to 10 minutes. As I had already specified, this is the last workshop of this free online workshop series. I would like to know your feedback on this workshop and the topics that you would like to cover on the next workshop series. Please take our feedback survey that will be sent to you shortly and let us know the topics that you need to cover in the next workshop series. Thank you for your time and patience. If you have any queries, we'll take them offline. Thanks again for participating.